How's it going, everybody? Just getting set up. Let's see. Let me reset this so I can have my chat going. Right. So I'll let a few people stroll in here. Okay. If you're in here, can you please let me know if the sound is okay? Looks like we're starting to get some people going. Okay. So this episode, we're going to push the big old pause button on Jessica Rabbit this week because I wanted to switch gears like I had talked about last episode. And hey, how's it going, Warren? How's it going? Can you guys hear me okay? Is this microphone loud enough? Is it working? I always need to do a sound check before we get rocking. Chris, how's it going? All right. So tonight I wanted to start a Stylized Anatomy figure, I guess, that I might eventually print this out. Sounds fine? Okay, thank you. Awesome. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Good to see you guys here. All right, so this here, let me load in the better version here, because this is just the skeleton. So let me show you the full thing. Okay, so here, and you'll notice a couple things. I'm done with music. I'm just gonna kill it. If you want music, you can now you can listen to whatever you want. I had some comments in the chat on the YouTube channel from last week, and they're like, your sound is cutting out and muting everything, and yeah, so, and half the songs that are copyright free I'm not a big fan of anyway, so we're done. We're done with that. So let me show you what we have here. Let me move this out of the way, turn off the floor so you can see it. Okay, so this model was drawn by Psychra, and you can look him up. He's on Pinterest and DeviantArt and all sorts of different places, and I just ran across this on Pinterest one day, and I'm just like, wow, that really speaks to me as far as what anatomy I care about when I'm modeling a figure. Okay, so I really wanted to, I kind of put it on the back burner. I wanted to model this, and oh, thanks, Sapphire. So as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I gotta model that sometime. And so, not to squirrel, but yes, I do have my shelves set up. Here, let me blow them up so you can see them better. Boom. So it's kind of hard to see, but so I pulled out my collection. I've been trying to get this office set up. I still need to put posters up, and but I got my lighting going for my Infinity collection. And I have some other toys over here you can't see, and then I'm going to put some shelves back here. Once I get this second computer moved out of this office, this is my kid's computer, so it's going to be out of here, so I'll have a better background. But yeah, as you can see, they're separated by kind of what they are. So it's like the Pixar stuff, the Disney stuff, more Disney stuff, and kind of the one-offs up there, like Alice and Jack Skellington and things like that, Pirates. And then down here it's kind of hard to see, but there's Star Wars, like the old-timey Star Wars, and the new Star Wars, Marvel, and Marvel, just like Avengers style Marvel and like Spider-Man and stuff. So anyway, when I was working for Disney, they were kind enough to give the whole collection to us. So, and then I've bought some. You can see across the top, and then some are pretty rare. Let me see. Here, I'll show you. 1 second. Okay. So, how's it going, everybody? So, here's like a crystal Mickey. If you can see it, there you go. He's kind of clear, and he lights up when you put him on the thing, and his little like moon and star light up. It's pretty cool. Then these two are super rare from the studio, which I'm glad. I've told the story before, but Lucas didn't want Darth Vader to have a matte helmet. See in the picture, it's shiny. Well, this version that they gave to us in the studio is not shiny. His eyes are shiny, but his helmet is not. It's kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can get a better angle. You see that? Yeah, it's not shiny. So those are pretty rare. And then this one, of course. This one, my buddy Jason Kim did. I helped him out a little bit, but he did a phenomenal job on Peter Pan. So this guy doesn't work on the reader. So yeah, that was fantastic work done by Jason. He designed it and modeled it and everything. So super cool. All right. So now that we have that, and then that's the Disney 2.0 Collector's Edition base that I modeled, the big beast and everything on there. The ice beast from Thor. Anyway, pretty fun. Yeah. So that's my collection for now. I have some posters and stuff I need to put up. Okay. So with that out of the way, let's see. Back to this. Oh, sorry, Sumerian. How's it going, man? I think that's the case for a lot of people. I stream at this time every night, but you know, for East Coasters, it's what time is it? Like, let's see, 70. Is it like 10 or 11 there? Something like that. Yeah, sleep meep. Yeah, Spider Gwen. You know, yeah, my buddy Brad Bolander did a phenomenal job on Spider Gwen, and then Ian Jacobs did. I think Doctor Strange is one of my favorite characters of the Disney Infinity series, and he did such a good job with that. I'd like to get an interview with both those guys sometime, but Brad is now in Finland working for gosh, what is it called? It's Clash of Clans, that company who makes Clash of Clans. He's working for that company, and then Ian Jacobs ended up at Playful in Texas working on Lucky's Tale for the VR game. So that's where both of those guys. Computer's back. That's always a good thing. Yep, best friends here. Awesome. Okay, so essentially what I wanted to do with this guy is this anatomy model is further than I take most of my blockouts by quite a bit. I normally don't put this much detail. I don't think I've ever put this much detail into a blockout, but I kind of wanted to just see what I could do with it, see where it goes. Okay, so I've been wanting to model this, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put Jessica on hold, if that's okay with you guys. And then do this. I thought it'd be a lot of fun. Okay, we're going to delete this guy and pull this one back up, because what I also want to try to do is I want to model the skeleton inside. So maybe not that big. As you can see, it's a very, very stylized, not realistic skeleton. So that's the goal of this, is stylized. Keyword stylized. I'm not going to go rambling about like muscle groups and bone names and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to model what I see, and we're going to just stylize the heck out of it. So that's hopefully Oh, you don't see on our screen. Okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I gotta get used to that. Just me, huge, hi. Okay, thank you. I gotta get used to this. Thank you. All right, let me put my phone over here. Okay, thanks for the heads up, guys. I'm like, your screen, what? My screen? Okay. How's that? We're back. You just stare at me for 3 hours? Hey. Oh. I wonder people are leaving the channel. Okay. So, where I want to start with this guy is actually I want to start with these pelvic kind of disc things, and then work my way either up or down. We'll see. So, what I want to do with these, yeah, 3D. Oh, this stream's starting off really good today. Thanks, you guys. Okay, so let's show the ruler because I kind of lost track of where I was. Sometimes I'll lose like which way is the front, and that's another good reason to have this ruler in here because I'm like, oh, there's the front. Okay, so I'm gonna pull out these discs, hide the ruler now that we know where we're at. Let's shrink these down. Let's turn on local symmetry. So how's everybody doing tonight anyway? How's it going? I'm going to switch back to, this is my gizmo, and I kind of like the other gizmo better. So let's go back to the tradish. Let's see. Is it this one? Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's see. Which version of the sphere on your IMM brush you use for what along the way? Sure. You're making a 3D boat that flies. Like a ship? Awesome. Welcome to the stream. So, yeah, it's about time for my kids to go back to school. So, we did some fun things today. There's a local planetarium here in town, and we went to that. That was pretty fun. And then we went to this place called Rocket Fizz, which is like it's like they sell unique sodas, like all around the world sodas. They have like the ramen sodas that has a little glass marble inside that you pop out. It's I think it's Japanese, I'm not sure. Just all sorts of cream sodas and root beers and crazy sodas. Oh, a Catwoman sculpt. Nice. It's always fun. Okay, I'm going to delete that sphere that I started with. So here are, and we'll just see how it goes, but here are the discs that represent these discs right here. Now, a pelvis isn't really like two discs, but it represents kind of a bowl shape. And then these bones come off of that and then come down the femur. So is there a place to download the UI? Yes, thanks for asking. If you go to 3dcharacterworkshop.com, you can download my user interface, my brushes, and this ruler file right here. It even comes with my gizmo, the one I was just playing with, so you can play with that. Ramoon, yeah, something like that. Yeah, glass ball. It's really crazy. It's fun to play with and drink. They're not too bad. Okay, so I'm trying to decide if I want to do an actual cylinder, like a physical cylinder for these bones, or because I typically just use an elongated sphere and then I'll Z-remesh it, which I'm trying to decide what I want to do here. Because what my intentions are with this, and I'm going to try it out, is there's things called bony landmarks, especially when you're drawing. You draw these landmarks to give yourself some kind of positioning as you're drawing your character, to tell yourself kind of where your character's at in perspective and how the proportions are laid out, things like that. And you can see in this model, he's called out some of those bony landmarks, like the hip bone right here, and the knee, this diamond shape is kind of sticking out through here, and then these ankles, and then the elbow, and then of course the skull. So, and then sometimes like the top of the clavicle right here, that's another area, and then this spine, this vertebrae sticking out right here, this other diamond right here. So what I'm going to try to do is actually make the skeleton and then have that skeleton poke through the colored muscle bits. So it'll be on a different subtool and they'll be separate. I think that would be really cool, so I'm going to try it. It'd be kind of fun. So let's make sure we're still facing front. Okay. And I think I'm just going to start stretching out a sphere. And then for this one, I'm going to use the appendage. And the appendage is essentially an elongated sphere, like this, and it's tapered somewhat. And I have some reference for exactly what the femur and the hip bone and things look like. But once again, I'm doing this stylized, so I'm not going to make it perfect by any means. It's just a stylized thing. So I'm just going to start kind of going for it. So I hope Ryan Kingsland doesn't drop by, because he'll yell at me. Not that Ryan Kingsland yells at anybody. But Ryan is all about knowing all the muscle names. I'm horrible at memorizing stuff. Just horrible. I can memorize what something looks like, but I can't memorize like the names of things unless I stick myself in a room and just like spill over it and over it and over it again. I just can't memorize stuff very well. So if you look up Cycra, I think somebody posted it in the comments above, but whoever posted that, if you could post it again. The artist's name is Cycra, and he posted this image, all the drawings, on his DeviantArt website, and you can also find it on Pinterest. And I've been talking to him about this, and I'm going to get some feedback from him on this after I get it going, so I'm pretty excited about that. Thanks, Sapphire. Yeah, you know, I'm not going to get into yeah, it's just I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't memorize anatomy names. I'm the worst at it. And if I was a doctor, sure, you know, I'm not a doctor. I'm an artist, so I memorize what it looks like. And there's some great artists that know all of the muscles, you know, and it helps a great deal. I do not want to discount memorizing that stuff. If you can, you should. But I don't know how absolutely necessary it is. Somebody's probably going to attack me at like CTN or something and fight me because I don't know the anatomy names. Okay, I'm going to pop this up just a little bit. So this is where the hip bone is going to stick out and create this little bony landmark right here. Okay, and it looks like this is going to be going back like this. So I'll be adjusting all of this stuff. Night Mercy, really? Really? Alright. Please don't make me... Sorry, dude. Alright. Sorry I didn't catch that sooner. This is not a game channel. Good grief. Oh, really? Jeez. Sorry about that. Okay. Why? I'm trying to figure out the motivation behind somebody wanting to do that. I think that's the first person I've actually had to mod on my channel. So that's good. That's good. All right. So this is from the side, and it goes back and then forward to the knee and then back down the front of the lower leg. Yeah. If your day wasn't long enough already. Spum, 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 spum. I know, right? I just barely talked to Kyle. Kyle is in LA traffic right now. So, poor Kyle. I don't envy him at all right now. Okay, let's make this straight. So it's crazy how the femur is on an angle and this lower one is pretty straight. You'd think, like, when people stand up straight, right, that your bone just kind of goes from your hips to your knees to your ankles. Straight, straight, straight. But they don't. It actually kind of goes, yeah, it looks like a robot. I am a robot. And another cool thing is you can check these proportions. Turn off the lines. Some weird colors. So you can check it against your concept by turning the opacity of the concept down and then putting your model behind it. See, that's way off. It's so off right now. So let's fix it. Fix it. So I can keep it there, or I can make this bigger. Let's make it bigger. And then we'll just cheat a little bit. This is called cheating. Let's see. Then we can, if you alt click on a surface, it'll pop the gizmo to the normal of that object. Okay, because I just want to make it a little thicker. We'll just tweak this while we have it here. So I'll make it thicker, push it in a little bit. Get this out of here. Let's see. I'm going to use the move brush for this. Just kind of mush it around into place a little bit better. Then we'll grab this one. Move it into place. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's see. The Q angle, really? Like the Q, like the little leg is on an angle, I guess. That's weird. Let's see. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, didn't you show this last time? It's looking good. She looks a tiny bit cross-eyed. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Not too bad. Thanks for sharing. All right. And I'm going to just kind of push it in a little bit so it's not perfectly straight. And line it up with the knee, and then grab this other one. And move it around. Now, I want to tell you about this upper leg compared to the lower leg on this. On this specific drawing, the artist, Sycra, he decided to make his lower leg longer. So typical proportion is it's in half. And that means, so you can try it right now. You can stand up, bend your leg up, you know, so your heel almost touches your rump, and you can see that your knee is basically splitting your leg in half. And when you stylize something like this, if he was to bend his leg right now, this stylized character, his heel would come up to about the middle of his back up here. So you need to be careful with stuff like that when you're stylizing. If you're, same with the upper arm. Let's take a look. So you also notice how the upper arm is, I mean, it's fairly in the center here, but the upper arm is slightly shorter than the lower arm is. And typically your hands will land mid-thigh, and these hands land a little bit lower than mid-thigh. They're just things that you can tweak and adjust and stylize as you go. So there are realistic skeletons and things you can do, and then there are stylized ones. And that's some of the ways you can stylize your character. So, okay. Here's another thing I want to do is, like I said, the pelvis is a bowl, and these, it's not straightforward. It's kind of like, it's kind of open towards the front. So in a woman, that's where like the womb sits and stuff is in that bowl. So let's open up these cylinders. Then I need to move them out. See, it's going to take some tweaking back and forth to do this stuff. That looks better. And they're probably not perfect perfect cylinders either. I'm going to bring them in like this. This I talked about it with Sycra. I actually talked about it with him while we were going over this, and the more we talked about it, the more we decided that this one is great. So, you know, it's kind of like one of those why fix what isn't broken. So instead of having him draw a new one like we had talked about, we're using the one that he already had. So this is his latest one. So let's see. Just gonna kind of work this out. All right. Let me catch up here. Am I going to animate this? I might. You know, I really want to print it for reference, you know, so you can look, so you can sit it on your desk and check it out. That'd be really cool. Let's see. What have I missed? Yeah, it's super long lower leg. Didn't invent it. The Cimmerian. So the different angles people have in their legs make for smaller or larger Q angle. Oh, okay. That sort of makes sense. Yeah, crazy leg lengths. I mean, that's a really good way to stylize something. Have you ever seen the Tron characters, like from the Tron animated series? They're probably the most pushed stylistically I've ever seen in an actual produced animation, and I love them. They're so good. They're so good. If they're just standing there not being animated, they look ridiculous. They're just bizarre. But in motion, they look really great. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of just for funsies push this in the front. It's not going to be perfect, but we're just trying to get it so it's going to work. And there'll be a lot of tweaking back and forth, of course. Yeah, it's starting to get a little warbly. Too fast. Okay. There we go. Huge calves. Yep. Boom. Look at those things. And you can find, if you just look up Stylized Anatomy on, she never skipped leg day, on, just on Google or Pinterest or whatever. Somebody keeps posting it here in the chat, Sapphire. You could post that again. So, yeah, you can just go check it out and download it from there. The biggest one I could find is on DeviantArt. Okay, so I'll be editing this a lot, back and forth till I get it, so it feels good. Okay, let's move on. Thanks, T-Chan. Never. That still cracks me up. Never skip leg day. Those calves. Boom. All right. A friend of mine has calves like that. This is giant. Like, how do you walk around with those things? they're literally like, his calves are like this big. Bigger than my thigh. Okay, let's. I need to refer to the feet really quick. Give me 1 second. I have a Pinterest page. If you look up Shane Olson Art on Pinterest, you can see all my Pinterest pages. And I have feet reference and hand reference and anatomy and skeletons and all sorts of stuff. So if you want to check that out, I also have sculptural reference and inspirational characters, all sorts of things you guys might find useful. Okay, I'm just trying to find a foot from the side so I can take a look, because I mean, if a foot has a bajillion bones in it, right? I just want to simplify it. So see. Okay. Let me go back to see what you guys are saying. Is he a girl? He is not a girl. This is not a girl either. This is Psychra told me he meant to make it not male or female. So if it was a female, you'd do certain things to it, like you'd pull these hips out further, and of course add breasts, but there's certain things you do to make it look female or male. So yeah, the feet can be very confusing. So let me pull this down and I'll show you what I was looking at here. This is somebody else's model, but it's good. So I was just kind of looking at how these all kind of join together, and yeah, I just kind of want to simplify this into a triangle. And like I said, I want to have the ankle bones stick out on either side and kind of peek through, and then this heel will be really important because it starts to create that arch. And then I'm going to just throw in like 5 straight bones right here, simplify that whole area. Okay, so as you'll notice, I've got it working with XSplit for you to be able to see my other stuff. Yeah, androgynous. Thanks for the word I was looking for. Androgynous. Probably not saying it right, but Okay, so let's go and let's make this. I'm just using my quad sphere. Pink, we get pink. And pull this out. And you guys, I'm going to be releasing my course again soon. Probably in the next couple of weeks. Androidius. Yeah. Oh, my volume is low. I don't think I can turn it up any louder. I can put the mic closer. Maybe I'll try and talk a little louder. Where'd the look from the models come from? Oh, from Disney Interactive? That was a group effort, actually. And it came from our character director and our art director. So our art director was Jeff Bunker, and our character director was John Diesta. And then, you know, each modeler would contribute, and there were also a lot of concept artists in the concept art department, and they would also contribute to the look. So if you've seen on ArtStation, if you've seen my Kate character from No One Lives Forever, that concept was drawn by Jake Black, and Jake Black was one of the concept artists on Disney Infinity. So he contributed. Let's see. For this, let's see. I think I might Z-remesh this because it's pretty stretched out. See how stretched out this is getting? And it's going to mess up these cylinders quite a bit. So I'm going to divide this twice and then remesh this. Not remesh, Z-remesh. So let's try 2. Oh, thanks. Yeah, see, it kind of reworked these cylinders, but that's okay. Because it really, what I wanted it to do is rework this, so then I could solo it and then inflate it, so I can get those ankles down here. And I'm going to inflate this too, where the knee is. Kind of like matchsticks. So they overlap each other a little bit. And then I'm going to go in here and I'll make them actually kind of look like working bones, you know, because the knee actually kind of sits in there. This is too high. But yeah, where did the summer go? Holy cow. End of summer. It's coming up on fall, which is when the ZBrush Summit is. I'm going to be doing a workshop at the ZBrush Summit. I'll be covering some of this stuff live. The workshops are not televised, by the way. So I think there's only like 4 seats left or something like that, which is pretty crazy. Sweet, Chris, that'd be awesome. But if you're already in my course, if you're one of my students, I would not recommend the workshop because I'll be covering a lot of the same stuff unless there's questions you want to ask me live, or because I'll be covering similar things. Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead. Do you have my email from last time? I don't know, you know, if I have time. I try to. All right, this is already pretty fun. Pretty fun. Live judging. Yeah, there'll be, I'll put a kneecap in there. I'm just trying to get, you know, just trying to, I'm winging it. Winging it. Okay, I'm going to use the appendage brush. Make it skinnier. Whoop. But I will be, I will also be just kind of walking around ZBrush Summit. If you want to come up and say hi, punch me because I don't know anatomy, whatever. I don't know I didn't memorize the names. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Sumerian, if you don't have it, it's shane.olson@3dcharacterworkshop.com. Yep, learn it. Learn it. Can you see Ryan pounding on me? I guess they don't really get bigger that much. They do. I'm going to bring it down because they kind of angle down and then they kick. This is the femur. Boom. Femur. Okay, I got it. That's a fun picture. To the pain. That is the email from my website. It is. And at the end of that email is me. One of my staff will get back to you. And I'm also, what's super cool, and I've never done this before, but I'm actually sponsoring the event. The ZBrush Summit, or I guess my company, 3D Character Workshop. So if you go to ZBrush Summit and look under sponsors, you'll see that I'm sponsoring the event because I'm giving away 3 seats to my course, which I'm super excited about. No, Matt Duck. I'm taking a break from the Jessica Rabbit for a little bit, just because it was a little too similar to what I was doing with the Pirate Girl. So I thought I'd mix it up and just kind of put her on hold for a minute, and then do this anatomy model, and then I'll get back to it. Hey, Roblems. What's going on, Rob? Welcome, dude. Shanomaniacs. Now you got the Animaniacs song in my head. Thanks, dude. Shane's Summer Summit. I do want to have a like a student reunion, like get together thing there. That'd be awesome. So and also I'm trying to decide if I want to do 4 or 5 toes, because typical stylized characters. Animaniacs is awesome. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna smooth all of these out. Reduction. So I can push them together. European tour. Oh man. Yeah, I'll see you there, right? No. I'd love to, man. I would, you know what I'd love? I would love to go to colleges, which I have in the past. Yeah, it does feel weird stylizing with 4 toes instead of 5. I agree. But what I've done in the past is I've visited a few different colleges, giving presentations to colleges. Like the local colleges here, the University of Utah, BYU, colleges like that. It's really fun to go inspire and be inspired by the students. Some other big talent people show up to those schools too, like especially BYU, like Corey Loftus and Hiram Osmond from Disney Feature. I went and saw those guys speak. It was so good. So good, so good. Yeah. What's up, Curious Heart Fox? You're from the U, right? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I might go again soon. That'd be cool. That was fun. Oh, Cody, what's up? Of course. Yeah, Cody's one of my students, and he goes to the U. So he's also a student of the U. And Cody's doing great in there. Tommy, what's going on? It's like a reunion up in here. Okay, that looks really weird, but what are you gonna do? Let me check, hold on. I'm probably gonna end up taking those out, but we'll see for now. It needs to go like down like this. And then inflate this guy like crazy. On this side. And down here. Okay. Alright, sorry I'm mumbling. And then I want to make... It's funny how people's toes are different. Sometimes they go, you know, like people's big toe is further out than their second toe. And sometimes the second toe is further out. Depends on the person and where you're from in the world. Okay. That's better. So it looks like the tallest one is this second one. See, I'm learning something today. I didn't know that. It's just toes. Toes. Hammertoe. Yeah, so it kind of goes up and then down, kind of like your hand, you know. See, your middle finger is taller, and then it kind of arcs like that. Okay, should we compare this? And then we got to get that, make sure that arch is happening on the inside. I'm going to Z-remesh these two. What's up, Steve? Of course Steve would know. Steve James in the house. How's it going, man? I wonder where that comes from, Morton's toe. Steve, I'm struggling with the foot here. You can see how Steve knows all about feet. He's like the foot guy. But what I'm doing is I'm just kind of blocking out a very rough skeleton here, super rough, just to get it in here, and then I'll, you know, because to me the muscles are going to matter more in this model, but I wanted to be able to make these bones peek out from behind the muscle. NLT, you cracked me up. Hold on a second, guys, one sec. Sorry, it's getting super hot in here. Had to chill it out a little bit. Move my fan. Hopefully it's not too loud. You got over 180 breaks. What? Like at one time, or over a period of time? Jeez Louise. Or are you? I can't remember the brittle bone disease. What's that called? A friend of mine has that, unfortunately. Let's see. One time. Jeez. Okay, let's see. Remesh this. Let's go 4. They're pretty colors now. I like how Z-Remesher makes pretty colors. Yeah, unbreakable. Oh. Yeah, my buddy, I need to make these taper. Around Utah, it snows a lot. It snows here. So there was one year in particular that we got like a sheet of ice on top of the snow. So it snowed, and then it rained, and then it froze. So it's like this super hard shell of ice. And I had to I carpooled with him. His name's Aaron, and he was super duper afraid to get out of the car because he was afraid he would slip and fall on that total sheet of ice. Hit head on by a drunk driver. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ouch. Holy cow. Yeah, it was Hoth. You know, it's crazy because it was beautiful. It was really pretty to look at, but man, it was dangerous. Yeah, Death Trap. And so there's also some hills in in Utah, where just the sheet of ice, and there's videos on YouTube of people just a car just like sliding down this hill and just hitting car after car after car as it slides down. Boom, boom, boom. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to watch it happen. Pun master. Oh boy. All right. Yeah. Let's check this again, just to see how we're doing. So I'm making the knees a little bit lower. Let's see. So I'm going to make these feet a lot bigger. So what do you think so far, Steve? Is this horrible? Yeah. Worst feet ever. Let's see. Shrink them front to back. Yeah, it's short, man. I'm gonna be I'll probably push it. You know, like bring it on down. Yeah, for sure. I think I'll bring it down a little bit. It is bugging a tad. But I'm following the concept to begin with, and then we'll see what happens, you know. So, Steve, I might hit you up later to figure out what to do in this area. Just for stylization. But for now, I'm going to move on. Okay, let's get the rib cage in there. Yeah, I do, because I mean, it's really appealing, right? This drawing's very appealing, and the stylization done to it is super. That's why I wanted to model it anyway. So if I want to push it to realistic proportions, we can do that later. But for now, I really want to hit that concept. Okay, so I got rid of my sphere in the center, so there's nothing to really draw. I want to make this rib cage up now, and there's nothing to really insert a sphere on. I don't have any geometry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to append a star, grab that subtool, and then grab these primitives and just make a polysphere. And then go back to 3D Gizmo, and then that'll be my rib cage. Then I can merge it down. Okay. And it recolored everything. That's pretty funny too, is it'll recolor whenever you merge, and it gives really interesting colors because they're still in their own groups. But and sometimes I like these colors better than the ZRemesh colors. We need Steve's stamp of approval. Steve, I think I have your foot in here somewhere. I'll have to pull it up and show these guys sometime. Okay, so the pelvis leans forward. Let's see if yeah, okay. So the pelvis leans forward like this, right? I like Dylan Eckert always draws with this thing. So like, whoops, like this direction. Okay, and then the rib cage leans back, so like this direction. I can't draw like this direction. See that? So it's not straight up and down. A lot of people will make it up and down, and that's not how a rib cage goes. So let's Let's make this rib cage here. I'm going to pull it and elongate it down this way. Then you can see how it arcs up in the center. And we'll pull this down. And we can hit D to turn on dynamic subdivision so it's smooth. Yeah, drawing with the Lasso Tool. I learned that from Dylan. He uses it a ton. I need to learn from that guy in more ways than one. Dylan Eckren streams too. He goes by the name Super Ghost. Dylan Eckren is a Disney feature modeler and an awesome dude. So I recommend a follow of that guy. Okay, let's check our spacing on this right here. A little lower. Dylan Eckren. So EK. Here, I'll do it. Dylan. Like that. And he teaches some courses on at Mold 3D. So they're very, very intense, quick, stylized courses. Let's see. Let me get this bigger. But man, I love his style. He does. He does not stream on the Pixelogic channel yet. I don't know if he will or not. You know what? I've moved this. Did I move? Yeah, that's why. Okay. So it put the ribcage in the same poly group as these hip or these pelvis discs. So I need to put it in its own group here. There we go. Now let's adjust this down. Let's reset this. Alright, that's better. But I need to line this up first. So these drawings are also in perspective. I need to be aware of that. But I think it's SUPR Ghost. Super Ghost. That's his Twitch channel. All right. Let's fix this shape now. So another thing you can do with this arc on the front of the ribs right here is you can clip it. So I'm going to get it into position here, and then hide everything else, and then use this clip curve brush, and then this way. And clip it like that. Punk. That's kind of fun to do. Let's see. And if you're just joining us, welcome to the stream, everybody. We're just working on this anatomy model. Simplified anatomy. It's not realistic in any way. It's kind of resembling realism, but it's stylized and exaggerated and caricatured. Let's see, I have a question. Dry Otter, welcome. So when you're working on a multi-figure project, do you block out a single base figure and branch out for each? Or is it easier to block out each on their own? Would you work any different if you're working on with other modelers on a project? I've done both, and it depends on how big your character library is. So if you have pieces and parts of characters and you're going to, like, say, I modeled Alice for Disney Infinity, and I used some of the base models that we already had. I'm trying to remember. I think I used Rapunzel for her base, and I used I'm trying to remember who else. But it's just good to start out with. Then you're in the same range. But typically, I will block out a new character every single time, just because I don't want to be influenced by the old blockout. But if it's a character in the same line, then that's really the only time I will do it. That's a great question. So, but yes, I will. And like boots and feet from other characters, we share hands a lot, because the hands have to line up with because we share rigs across the characters. So the hands have to line up with the rigs. So we will actually just grab a hand that's already predefined, and we'll bring that in. We had a heavy, a medium, a light, a female, and a cartoon hand, and we just bring them in and make them work. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. We got a pretty big library going. So the hands most of all, and then we would use the same face layout, not necessarily like we wouldn't typically bring in the face topology and use that every single time, but we would follow the same plan, like the same where everything was. So sometimes we'd use the same facial topology and just push it around. And I know that Disney Feature will use the same mesh every time and just way push it around, So 2 left shoes. Thanks. Do they look like 2 left feet? I need to push them so they actually arc outward. Now that I'm looking at them. Ooh. Something like this. I don't know. We're going to have to play with that. Okay. So let's see. Let's get the clavicles on here. Just gonna use the appendage brush. Make them skinny. There's our new character. Done. See ya. Alright. Best character ever. Ship it. Let's get rid of some of this volume. You guys are aware of the Alt Smooth by now? Is this true? So you can smooth by starting to smooth and then let go of smooth. Let's turn the intensity up so you can see it better. So if you let go of smooth while you're smoothing, it tends to keep the volume better and spread out the geometry across the surface better. If you just hold smooth, it tends to reduce the volume. Yeah, you finally used it. Right. Yeah, this like hyperspace, I'm not doing it perfectly, like realistically. So I'll be adjusting this back and forth. I know they don't go. This is just kind of representing them in their socket a little bit. I might redo this pelvis to actually look like a pelvis, but right when these will create that, kind of that I don't even know what it's called, but where your stomach and stuff sits. I'll get into that. Oh, the weird crinkles in the tail. Yep, that helps a ton. I'll be moving these forward. Yeah, the guts. It's like a bowl that holds the guts, you know. So this will be, you know, it should be curved and stuff. Yeah, the thing I care about is this dot right here, because that's the thing that is closest to the surface, you know, your hips, your bony landmark, as it were. So that's where I that's where I'm gonna care about the most. So wherever that ends up as I go, that's where it's gonna be. So all right, and then I'm going to use these to make the scapula. Yeah, like I said, super stylized anatomy. I'm not being completely accurate at all, and I'm not using the word stylized as an excuse to do bad anatomy either. I'm just I just really wanted to make this model and make it stylized and exaggerated. Okay. These will move and change. Alright, can't really see these in this drawing because they're in shadow, but something like that. And see, whenever an artist, a concept artist actually draws a turn like this, they hardly ever get it accurate because it's one of the most extremely difficult things you can do. You can measure like crazy and it'll still be off unless you're tracing a 3D model. But I don't think I've ever had a concept artist give me a turn that was 100% accurate, because it's kind of a waste of time, you know. I'd rather just get a 3/4 view turn of a character, like this one here. But I mean, this one helps. This turn in particular helps. But when I'm modeling a character from a concept, I specifically ask the concept artist not to give me a turn, and I don't know if I'm unique in that regard, because I know other modelers that like to have a turn, because it does give you the information, like more information than just a 3/4 view, because you get the back and all that stuff too. But you're also asking the concept artist to interpret what they originally did, and it loses some of that initial energy that the concept artist had when they drew the first one. Also, if they do it in a T-pose, it also loses some of that energy and becomes very stiff and lifeless. So, all right. Let me just look at something really quick. Yeah, this is all one bone too, but I just want to inflate this little bit right here, just for fun. All right. The clavicle does drop down here in the front, but it's kind of a stylized thing to do to make it be straight across from the front. This drops down in the back too. But I was just going to look at how this is going here. There's also this extra bone that I'm not going to put in there because it's just going to be inside. That it doesn't have it doesn't really show on the outside of your leg. So there's, you know, in the stylized skeleton, there's not really a reason to put it in there. Oh, thanks, Harry. Take care, man. Yeah, Sumerian, that's super true. And this is way more blocked out than I would, or way more detailed than I would ever block something out. I'm just kind of doing this for my own sake, just to learn a little bit more about landmarks and placement and exaggeration and things like that. So, oh, you had to get back. Or you are back. You had to get your little kiddo to sleep. I got it. Okay. Little tornado. I got a couple of those. They're starting to settle down. Bye. Come back. No, wait. Leave. No, come back. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to cheat and steal these bones here. Cheater, McCheat face. I am standing up, yep. I didn't stand up last time, and I just felt like, because I was pretty tired, and I just didn't have the energy to. But it helps me have more energy when I'm standing up. I need to move these things. Hold on. Ugh. There we go. These are my... I have some feet cushions, so it doesn't hurt my feet when I stand. Okay. Just going to check my measurements here. All right. Yeah. Stand up. Stand up straight. Okay. No, we did have standing desks though. That was awesome. Okay, looks like. And I miss it, so I went and grabbed me a stand-up desk. Saved up and picked me up one, and I love it. It's awesome. Okay. So these, like the upper legs, these are kind of shorter than they should be a little bit. So I'm going to aim this down the length here, and then shrink them. Let's see. Yeah, hold on one second. Let me do some push-ups. All right, ready to go. Full of energy. Back in action. I'm going to drop this. Okay. Let's just check it from the side. Not quite so. turned. So how do I only move one group at a time and mask out the others? Okay, I'll show you. So here, let me just show you really quick this thing. So see how my scapula and my clavicle are both in the same group? These are both pink. I want them separate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask out. Well, I'm going to, the rest of it is masked already. The only thing that's unmasked is this pink section. So I'm going to add the scapula to the rest. Now I'm going to invert the mask, and if I hit Control W, that puts the clavicles in their own group now. And if I want to mask everything except for the clavicles, I can just hold on Control and click on those. So, A cubed in the house. How's it going? Then if I want to move that gizmo anywhere, I can just hold down Alt and tap on the surface, and it just moves it anywhere. Then if I want to center it in the unmasked object, see this little Google Maps icon right here? If I hold down Alt and I click on that, it centers the gizmo inside that unmasked area. But then you'll notice my gizmo is all kind of off center. So if I hold down Alt and I click this circular arrow right here, it will align it to the world. Now I can just hold down Alt and grab this circle and just align it to the clavicle if I want. And now it's just down the clavicle. So what's happening tonight, Ash? Can I call you Ash? That's a cool name. But now these clavicles are way too thick. Actually, I'm doing some Stylized Anatomy tonight. Thought I'd try something new. We talked about that. Ash. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together with that. That's pretty good though. I like it. It's funny, I just barely met the lady who voices Ash. Yes, it's a lady. She's super nice. Sorry, did I ruin your hopes and dreams? Yeah. Yes. This looks realistic. Yeah, it's a real. This is what my pelvis looks like. A couple of discs in there. Right? That's where your legs. Oh, geez. Can you still hear me? I hit my. Oh man. Okay. Swinging my arms and I hit my. Okay, tell me if you can't hear me. Okay, it's still plugged in. Jeez. When you're 90. Yep, getting aggressive. So, and my femur is super short, like this guy. But here's my reference. Whoop. This is just for the skeleton. Jumping jacks. Hit him! Alright, I don't know if I'm going to do the skeleton inside the hand. I don't think I need to go that far. So everybody, Ashley A Cubed is another Pixelogic streamer on here. She does fantastic beasts and where to find them. She does some super cool beasts. They're not Harry Potter beasts, but they're super awesome. And I have no idea. So Harry Mandibles, what are you talking about? Did Pixelogic move the store view buttons? I don't think so. Let's see. They're right. Are you talking about these? They're just under ZApp link properties, front, back, left, right. That's the ones I use anyway. I don't know. I think they had a different set somewhere else. But don't tell anybody where to find them. Okay, let's see. Arm bones, arm bones. Yeah. Ash, have you ever thought about doing that? Like crazy Pokemon beasts in your style? You've probably thought about it. You've probably done some already, huh? Anyway, yeah, give Ashley a follow. Super cool stuff. When do you stream? Pokemon Fusion. Let's see. This. Pokemon from memory? Oh boy. Yeah, that's just asking for trouble. Okay, this one will become the elbow that's sticking out, I think. Oh man. You couldn't have timed that one better. Trouble? Let's make it double. Those guys. Oh, all right. Streaming here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Eastern Time. What time is that on the West Coast for us math illiterate peeps? So 8. 6? Oh, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. Always a pleasure, anytime. Let's see. Three hours ahead of California. Okay, so 5, right? Because I'm in Utah, and that's 2 hours, right? Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Just checking my proportions here. Six p.m. Shane time. Is that a thing? Shane time. What time is it, boys and girls? It's Shane time. Turn off topological. Okay. Oh, silly. Okay, let's fix these guys. Perfectly realistic skeleton. Ship it. Just keeps going. Okay, let's see. I guess I got to give this guy a spine. spineless. Let's move this in so we can see the front. Alright, let's see. How are we doing here? Oh man. It's getting crazy. Oh yeah, actually I got a new background. Check it out. I set up all my Infinity collection. And I have lights with a remote control. How nerdy is that? Check it out. Ooh. Change them to red. Yeah. Red channel. Right? Blue. Yeah. Totally nerdy. Super fun. My nerd setup. All right. Oh yeah, that's that's what this one's for. This is my computer one. So you can see the red light right in here. That's what this one's for. I'm all sorts of nerdy. Okay. Get distracted. Gotta get serious. Right? Serious. Man, those femur bones are so short. Gotta go to bed. Yes, I will be on next Tuesday. Hopefully, if I don't start laying out the muscles tonight, it will be next Tuesday. So thanks for stopping by. Best friend ever. Smearing King, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, make these toes a little taller. That's fun. There we go. That looks better. True clink. Oh, Robin. So yeah, that's right. It broke in travels. So just so you know what Roblums is talking about, the F unicorn. Gosh, I'm trying to think of if I have access to it. Anyway, it's a unicorn, and its head is a hand flipping the bird. So it's like a unicorn, you know, like, and it's all nice cast, and it's rearing up and flipping the bird. Anyway, it's my buddy Clem from now I can't remember. Oh, from Big Shot Toys. He gave it to me last year when I was down in California going to a toy fair, and I put it in I put it in my bag to take on the plane, and it's going through it's going through security on those cameras, you know, and here comes this finger. And the guy's like, come here, step aside. So I go over there, and they had to dig it out and pull it out. They're like, what is this? And they're cracking up. It's pretty funny. So, but when I got home and I go to pull it out of the box, it was cracked in a couple places. So I need to fix that thing and get it up there somewhere. Probably not in the back of my Pixelogic streams, but Got to get it up there. Yeah, I didn't tell you about that, did I? Oh man, it was pretty funny. I was laughing. Alright, I need to look at some reference here for a second. Alright. Welcome to the stream, everybody who's new here. Just working on a stylized anatomy model. I don't really know what I'm doing right now, but it's fun. So hey. Okay, I'm going to Z-remesh again. Let's turn it to 7 this time. See what happens. Not too bad. Better save this. Skelly. Okay. Obscene unicorn. No kidding. But they literally did make me step out of the line so they could search my bag and pull it out so I could look at it. Oh yeah, from your... Oh man. That's not cool though, you know? I mean, it's cool. It's a benefit of it, but full of metal. I'm going to put some kneecaps in here really quick. Spherical kneecaps. And I really want to see. I love how Cycler has put diamonds everywhere, and those diamonds will come out when I start getting the muscles laid out on here, because I want these bones to peek through the muscles, creating those bony landmarks. Just kind of shape them into place for a second. Oh jeez. You're like, here. Oh. Looks like I need to smooth this guy out. That's a tip for you. If you're going to Z-remesh, sometimes it's good to subdivide a couple times. And your Z-remesh will also shrink your mesh overall, so make sure, if it does, you go back in here. It usually happens to fingers and small things like this, like a bunch of carrots. You can go back in here with inflate and just kind of carefully inflate them back to where they were in their previous life. Alright, I'm just going to put a kind of a little hand guy in here. Thanks for sticking with me through this, guys. I hope it's not too boring tonight. If you have questions, please ask. I'm happy to share the knowledge. Not that I know what I'm doing right now. Kermit. Okay, now this little sphere right here is just representing that group of bones at the end of the wrist there. Just very loosely in place. It's more interesting than your boat. Oh yeah, the boat model you're doing. Just gonna check size here. It's probably way off. All right, what happened to my rib cage? It got squished. Pull that back. Get back there. Whoa. Then it does look like the arm's doing okay. Maybe the angle could be pulled down a little more. Oops, getting everything. Topological is your friend. Okay. At what point is it useful to switch perspective on? Does focal length matter? Different for different projects. Okay, something about perspective inside ZBrush is it's manufactured. So meaning I only have my perspective set to 20, and you can find that under, is it draw? Yeah, draw angle of view 29. So I think the default for the longest time was like 60, and the problem with that is it's not, it doesn't match any real life camera. It doesn't match a 35mm camera or a 50mm camera. It's none of that. It's just the amount at which your model is skewed. So it's literally just kind of faking the perspective and skewing it to look like it is in perspective. So the answer to that question is I leave it off almost all the time. So sometimes I'll turn it on when I want to show my models, like when I want to screenshot them and put them, like show someone, I will turn it to like a 3/4 view like this, hit perspective, and then send it, you know, take a screenshot and send it to them. But when I'm working, I hardly ever turn perspective on. And the reason why is because if I snap my view to the side, and if I have perspective on, you can see how the feet aren't lined up. So when I use masking or something like that, it doesn't mask how it should, or if I clip, it doesn't clip how it should because the angle is off. So if you have perspective off, it's going to go straight through and clip it perfect. So I mean, not that that's what you want to do, but it's you want to, and that'll also help you keep your model symmetrical, because sometimes you will have perspective turned on, and if you move one side and it's moving the other, it'll get the symmetry off. So hope that answers your question. I hardly ever turn it on unless I'm going to do a print screen. Thanks for that question. It's a good one. Let's see. I'm trying to decide if I want to do the spine next or if I want to do the skull. I think I'm going to do the spine. Get that in there. And I'm just going to stretch out a big appendage. You don't sculpt with perspective turned on? Yep, later stages. Hey Ed Zib. How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, having perspective turned on is kind of a scary thing. It's kind of dangerous, so you got to be careful. Let's get that S-curve happening. I'm going to hide these arm bones here. Would you use it while posing? Yes, actually, I do use it while posing. Okay, get out of there. Come on. Turn topological off. There we go. So, yeah, that's a good question. I do use it while posing. I'll turn it on because posing is asymmetrical most of the time, and it's also, that's how you see it when you see your figure sitting on the table or something like that, or if you see it in the render. I'll turn it on for that. Okay, let's see. And most of the time too, I'll push it over to Keyshot and actually try and get a real perspective camera, like a 35mm or something like that, to get a better idea of what it's going to look like. Uberbar, how's it going? Welcome all new people to the stream. I'm just blocking out this stylized character, this anatomy model right here, done by Sycra. And eventually I'll get all the muscles and everything on there too, but I just wanted to make this stylized model more for reference than for anything. It's not going to end up being any certain character or anything like that. So let me show you the full final concept here. So this is what it'll end up looking like, hopefully, if I can manage to pull it off. And the reason I'm actually modeling the skeleton is because I want to have it on the inside of the character, because I want these bony landmarks to actually show. I want the skeleton to stick out, like right here in the hips and the elbows, on the kneecaps, maybe the shin bone here, the skull, of course. So I just wanted to try it and see if I could pull it off. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see here. Yeah, your Urubar, I'm thinking about, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use it in the course, but I do want to somehow. And I would love to get it 3D printed if it turns out like I want it to. Let's see. Is there any way to do a mirrored radial symmetry without using array mesh? I haven't experimented with array mesh too much. So I don't know if I have the answer to that question. But you can, I don't think you can do a mirrored radial other than like mirroring it over X, Y, or Z, but that just gives you the different axes, not necessarily. So what I'll usually do if I'm doing like a wheel or something like that is I'll duplicate like a spoke all the way around at the different, and I'll snap it, and then I'll turn on radial symmetry and then use it that way. But I think the array mesh will do a lot better job. But yeah, I think that might be a better question for Paul Gabery. He streamed earlier today, or Joseph Drust. I'm not sure when Joseph streams again, but you can look for their streams in there. Or Michael Pelfovich. He also is super duper knowledgeable in that stuff. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I want to inflate this guy just a little bit. Not that much. There we go. Kneecaps, I got him in. Yay, kneecaps. How's it going? Okie Gaming, how's it going? I'm just going to stretch this spine to make it sort of look like part of the pelvis right here. Just to do that little bit of tailbone. I don't know why, but marvelously good. That good, huh? Awesome. Good to hear. This is another bony landmark actually on the back right, there's like a triangle right in this area right here. And that is a bony landmark. Always good to hear when somebody's doing marvelous. I'm not doing too bad myself. So once again, if you guys, if you're interested in this user interface or my brushes, you can always get them at 3dcharacterworkshop.com. You can also get this ruler file, this little ruler. My skeleton's way off scale, and it's facing the wrong way. So I'm actually going to fix it while we have it here. And this is what I use my ruler for. Shrink them down and spin them around. Turn off symmetry and snap to 180. There we go. I'm going to shrink them a little bit more. So I use this ruler to go back and forth between Maya and ZBrush, and I also use it to print with, because you can, this ruler is like 20 centimeters tall, or it's also 200 millimeters tall, and I usually print in millimeters, so I use this ruler as my bounding box. And if you export at 200 millimeters and your character is within that bounding box anywhere, make sure it's not sticking either too low or too high, and if you export it that size, your print will come out at the exact size that you want it. So that's a little tip for you guys. Oh, thanks MDM. Appreciate the love. Whoops, need to turn symmetry back on. All right, let's just give it another check really quick. Let's make this bigger, turn the opacity down, and just check it against the concept. Not bad. Probably pull these out. So I have done my own printing, yes. I don't have a printer personally right now, but I'm looking to get a Form 2 pretty soon, I hope. Maybe even at the ZBrush Summit. We'll see. I might have some of my stuff printed at the show. So the pirate girl that you guys watch me build here on the stream, I'm going to try and get that printed, and the Kate character that I did for my course from No One Lives Forever, I might have both of those printed and at the show so you guys can check them out. It'd be really fun. But I'd love to get a Form 2. And I used to print all the time at work at Disney Interactive. We had a Envision Tech, a big giant, like $80,000 printer. And part of my course, in my bonus section, I have a how to prep your models for 3D printing lesson in there. So I go through and I take you through and teach you exactly how to get your models ready for printing, which a few of my students have printed out their stuff. It's really fun to see. Okay, let's get a skull on this guy. A skull so I can continue the spine up to the back of the skull. I don't want that. Okay, it looks like my model is off center. Okay, here's another lesson, you guys. See how my model's off center? How to fix this? I'm gonna turn on my lines, and then I can move my character over to kind of towards the center. You got to turn symmetry off, move it towards the center, kind of get it lined up. And then you'll see how I try and get the center line to be on the right hand side of the line, because when I mirror this, it's going to mirror from left to right. So let me show you what happens if I have it on the left side of the line. See the center line? I'm putting it on the left side of the line. Now I'm going to mirror and weld, and now it duplicates that center line. Let me turn off the floor and local symmetry. Try it one more time. There we go. Okay, you got to make sure you turn local symmetry off to do this. Otherwise it's going to mirror on itself instead of mirror on the world. But you can see how it created this triple line right here. See that? And I don't want that. So I'm going to undo it, turn the floor back on, and I'm going to drag the center line onto the other side. Okay? So, and I'm looking at this little the spine as well. And then we'll try it. Let's do a mirror weld. That should look a lot better. Yep. So it didn't make the spine look better. So I got to push it even more. So push it. It's going to make the spine really skinny, but that's okay. There we go. As long as it doesn't have that center line, then make sure you turn symmetry back on, and now we are symmetrical again. That's how you fix it. Okay, let's see. You haven't got that far yet. You don't have to buy a 3D printer either. You can actually find someone who owns like a Form 2, or there are printing services around, and as long as you follow the guide, you can prep your model for printing, save it out as an STL, and send it to those printing places, even places like Shapeways or places like that, and they'll print it for you, and they'll like you a lot more if you prep it properly. That makes sense. Oaksy Gaming, that's hilarious. I'm like, oh no, where is this going? Oh man, that's funny. Okay, so do you use live boolean for keying in your courses? Not yet. That is a planned lesson that I'm working on, but it's not ready yet. But man, am I excited. I'm super excited to get live boolean actually working for keying, because I'm going to prep the pirate girl and the cake girl, and I am going to use live boolean for the keys. And I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. I wish that existed when we were doing Disney Infinity. That would have saved a ton of time. Okay, so now that my model is symmetrical, I can make a skull. Let's do that. 10 o'clock, we're doing okay. Make a skeleton in a couple hours. Let's see. It's a little too big. Let's pull this up for reference again, just to test and make sure we have the skull correct. So you must have missed the streams when I did that. I didn't stream prepping my models for printing. Maybe I should have, but I might stream it on my own channel. We'll see. But I need to do it pretty fast because they're asking for them right now. So I don't know if I'll have time to chat while I do it. We'll see. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to swing this around like this. Make it longer. Too long. Yeah, it's like a timeshare for sure. It's been a lot of fun too. I really like it. Okay. Let's see. These pelvis discs, I'm gonna be editing those a lot, I think. Okay, let's I'm gonna clip. Do I still have clip? Yeah, I do. Clip the sides of that to make the head plane. Might do that from the top. Because your head plane, a lot of people think it's just straight like this, but it's actually like this. That's probably too much, but that'll work. Okay, so let's bring that spine up to meet the back of the head. In a good place, and this spine will stick out as a bony landmark right here. That's being weird because I have topological turned on. Do that again. So it's stretching like crazy, so I need to Z-remesh it. See how it's stretching? So let's fix that. Before I do, I'm going to tilt these. Forward just a little bit. You're new here? Yeah. So this is the Pixelogic stream. Pixelogic is the makers of ZBrush, ZBrush Core, and Sculptress. They're all sculpting programs at different levels of. Like Sculptress is beginner level, and ZBrush is professional level, and ZBrush Core is like amateur level, intermediate, I guess. Okay, and there are a lot of streamers on here, a lot of professional streamers. They're not professional streamers, they're professional sculptors that stream. So there are a lot of them on here, including, I don't know if Ashley's still around, but Ashley is one of them. She was here earlier. So she goes by A Cubed, and she does some amazing, amazing monsters. Let's go up to 10. So Z-Remesher, this 10 is... she's still here. Shush, dang it. Spoke too soon. Okay, is that... Yeah, that's good. Remember, anytime you Z-remesh, there's shrinkage. Always reminds me of that Seinfeld episode. There's shrinkage? I'm horrible. Don't listen to me. I miss Seinfeld. Good stuff. Alright. Now I'm going to put the lower jaw. So when I block out heads, I like to usually do it in two main parts. The cranium here, and then the jaw, and then I split it at the eye line right here. And there's a couple reasons why, and I'll show you here shortly. Let's grab this insert mesh brush. Draw out a purple jaw. Then I just kind of use the move brush to move this into place. And what I'm looking for is to create this. I called me by the stream name. I'm Pixelogic. Yeah, this is the Pixelogic channel. All can be forgiven. Okay. So what this does, and why I like to do it this way, is it creates a jawline, and the jaw usually ends up, give or take, it ends up underneath the ear, in the middle of the head. So this is a little too pushed in. Hello, Pixelogic. Hello, program. And then what happens is it'll start to create that cheekbone and help you out there, and then it will create the eye socket line. It'll start to create that, how the cranium comes down and then the face starts to come out. And the most important thing is, if you look at it from behind the 3/4 view, a lot of people get it wrong when they're putting eyes in. They don't get the corner of the eye pulled back in space on the head far enough. If you look, I don't know if you can see it, but if I turn my head, let me see, you can still see my eyeball from here, because the eye socket is so, it goes so far back on the side of the head that you need to pull that back. And so that's one of the common mistakes my students do, is they'll just keep the eyes on a plane and just put the corners of the eye just across from each other, straight across from each other, and they're not. They're actually like curved. So if you look at it from the top like this, the inner corner of the eye is up here, and the outer corner of the eye is back. It's not straight across like out here, it's back. So that is what helps you, that helps you bring that eye socket back. Just a little tip for you. I don't know why or how I figured that out, but it's just a little tip to help me, honestly. And you can see it in his drawing here, in Syker's drawing. See how that eye socket is dipping in right here from the 3/4 view? That's what I'm trying to get at. So we can even pull this forward in space a little bit. So let's get your skunk eyes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, T-Chan's doing an awesome skunk. It's like Pepe Le Pew but female. It's really cool. Okay, let's see. Now my head's completely off. So the cranium looks good. The jaw looks extremely small. So let's make that thing not small. So what I just did there, to get my gizmo in the center of that object, what I had to do is I had to turn off symmetry for a second. Because I'll show you. If this is off over here, and I just hit this Google Maps icon, I bet Pixelogic loves it when I call it that. This Google Maps icon, if I just hold down Alt and click it, see how it centers in half of that object? Because it's taking symmetry into account. So it's centering itself in half of that unmasked object. If I want to get it in the center of that object, I just have to turn symmetry off, hold down Alt, hit it again, and it'll go in the center. But make sure you turn symmetry back on. So now what I can do is scale it up. Whoop. I'm actually going to scale it in two directions. Here's another, this is a brand new thing with the gizmo that is not in the transpose line if you're used to the transpose tool. Now you can scale on 2 out of the 3 axes. And how you do that, if you hover over this, it'll tell you. So it says scale X, or hold down Control to clip, or hold Alt to scale in X and Z, or sorry, Y and Z. So if I hold down Alt and I scale this, it's scaling in the green and the blue axes and not in the red, and he looks beautiful. So let's get him into place again and see if we can match this up. Cranium. Okay. What it mean you're talking to yourself? If you refer to it often enough, they might actually name it that. What, the female Pepe Le Pew? What would they call it? What's her name? If she has one. Okay. So see how the jaw just ends right underneath where the ear is. And the ear is kind of sitting back on the head right there. So now we can just kind of push and pull. Oh, the Google Maps thing. Yeah. It's like they probably don't like me pointing it out that it looks like that. So sorry, Pixelogic. I don't know what else to call it. The centery thing. There we go. It's his head's looking a little thin now. See how it's thin? Let's pull that cranium out in the back. Unmask. It's not a, you know, the side of your head's not a perfect plane either. So it's a good idea to actually have an arc happening in there. And I really like these planes that Cycra's got going on here. I'll have to play with those eventually and see if I can get them in there. Pooping out loud. Right, it's but the one that one of my students, T-Chan, that's in the chat here, the skunk that he is modeling is not the one that he chases. That is actually a cat that's been painted or whatever. His is a skunk. So, but I know which one, I know what you're talking about with the female cat, which makes it so hilarious. He's always chasing after her. All right. Yeah, T-Chan, if you have it up, have a link of it somewhere, you can pop it in the chat here. It's pretty well done. Okay. Yeah, I need to render it. All right. I'm pretty happy with what this is doing so far. Yeah, no worries, no pressure. We can show it next week or something. So also I have I'll show you guys something. I finished my student, well, not finished. I've been working on the student gallery for my course. If you guys, hopefully you don't slam the servers, but if you want to check that out, that's a bunch of work from my students and their blockouts, their character blockouts. There's a couple final renders on there from a few students. That's what I'm working on right now, is getting the rest of the final renders up there. But you can check that out. The Google Maps pin has its own wiki page. Oh man. Oh, you have some gizmos? I think I might have seen them. Oh yeah, those are awesome. I will try those out. Thanks, man. Very cool. I will try those. An automated way to make character sheets while you work. I end up doing Shift S, rotate, and move, Shift S. There is not an automated way exclusively, but you can if you go to Document and you go to Z App Link Properties. You can do the Shift S turn, Shift S turn. You do that, but you don't do Shift S. You actually save that view in these tabs right here. Here, I'll show you. Let's hide this. And it only works per project. So let's set them up. So if I go to front, and if I hit front, it's automatically going to make a back. See that? So if I hit back, you can see the back. There's the front. So if I turn it to the right, I can hit right. It'll make a left. And you can also do top and bottom if you want, or you can do a custom. But it doesn't turn on and off perspective. You can make a custom like this. Hit document and then hit custom, like 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. And then if you hit make character sheet, it'll put them all in an image and then export it. So the problem is it doesn't space them out well. It leaves all this negative space in there, as far as I can remember. So you can do that, and it'll push it to Photoshop. So, oh, thanks. Yeah, my students are doing awesome. I cannot be happier. They're doing really good. I can't wait to get more of the final renders and some of the game characters up, because those are some really impressive things. Excuse me. Really impressive work. Looks like this rib cage is too huge, so I don't have all the volume to compare it to. But anyway, let's make a hand really quick. Really quick. I say really quick, but you know, it's a hand, so it's not going to be really quick. Yeah, the new. Yep, no worries. Timman. Yeah, thanks. I just set that up this week. It's got some fun lights, and it's all remote control, and I can do different colors and stuff. It's pretty fun. So I might steal these toes and make hands out of them. Oh, I gotta get rid of this clip. Okay. So mask, invert mask, and then let's duplicate them. They're going to look really weird for a minute. Hands are a handful. Ba-doom-tsh. Oh, look what I did. Looks like I didn't grab the whole thing. There's still part of it masked back here. Oops. There we go. Let's see. Oh, call you Tim Dan. Okay, thanks. All right. Tim Dan. Oh, thanks, Claymator. Clayton. Okay, you got to tell me how to say your name now. Clayton Amore. Student blockouts look good, thanks. Toes would make weird fingers. You're right, they're like, nyeh, nyeh. Like little stumpy fingers. Oh, that's funny. Perfect, they look like wings or feathers. Little feather hands. Let's get a reference going. I think, gosh, I might just do them over with. Do them over. Okay, let's delete all but one of these. They're just too particular. Let's see. Yeah, so what I usually do though is well, looks like I'm using bananas now, but what I usually do is I'll do spheres and then I'll just stretch them out, and then I'll go around the tops of them with a pinch brush to get that squarish shape. But I typically want the bottom here. Let's see if I can show you the profile. But I will typically make a finger with that profile right there, rather than like a square. It depends on the character, but I won't keep it round like this. I'll keep it more like that. Anyway, I'll kind of show you as I go. Yeah, since your bone is closest to the top, it's pretty flat on the top. And then just to make some ridges, I can run ridges down here and on the other side. But the bottom is quite round. If you look at your finger from the front, or chop your finger in half, you kind of see it. Not a banana. Just going to look at this topology really quick. So I'm going to shorten this down. Banana hand. Banana hands, that reminds me, there's some, yeah, Wreck-It Ralph. I have Wreck-It Ralph's fingers right here, and they are very square. Super square. Hang on. Reach him. Ugh. He has the squarest fingers of them all. Look at those bad boys. I don't know. I think they're square underneath as well. So are Hulk's. We made the big handed characters have those kind of hands, and I think Anger has them. But then if you look at like Joy, her fingers are, well, I don't know if you can see them here. Let me switch over to here so I can see what I'm showing you guys. Let's see. Focus. They're super round. Let's see Stitch's fingers, because Stitch has so stitches are opposite. Stitches are flat on the inside and round on the top. So it just happens, or it just depends on the character. You know, I don't know if you can see those, but yeah, it's totally based on the movie or the character, what they require. I'm way too slow because I'm talking. People are asking questions. Steven Olson? I don't know. I don't think I know a Steven Olson. I do not. Let's see. Just gonna arc these out. It's a fact. Let's see. I should have put this other one in its own group, but whoops. What I can do is, see, I want these two in their own group. What I can do is hide or isolate them and hit auto groups. Then mirror and weld. Looks like I'm making carrots or something. Mirror and weld. Now they're in the same group. Single man looking for fun woman with bricky hands. Farmer's hands. She's seen the farm work. Turn local symmetry back on. Invert the mask and put it in its own group this time. I remembered. Kind of wish it would do that when you duplicated an object. I wish it would group it in its own group. Stonemasons end up with square hands. Oh, you guys are lively tonight. Lively with the jokes. It's good. Hired gun. Thanks. Alright, let's get the thumb in there. I'm going to be adjusting these like crazy. Because these are the bones inside your hand. Like all inside here. And I'm not used to making hands this way. So it's new for me. Gotta feel how this goes. Chopping wood. Miss Woodchopper, 2017. Invert, put in its own mask. Whoa. Didn't mean to duplicate the whole thing. Okay. So see how these fan out from the wrist to the knuckles? Then they'll go back in. Or you can leave them out. Depends on how you want them. Yeah, banana hands. Best fingers ever. Ship it. Need them closer together. Trying to imagine the rest of the hand. It's kind of difficult here. Okay. And I need them to arc. So look at the side of your hand. It kind of arcs a little bit. Pull them out. Yep. It's like the rainbow pianos. Ding ding ding. Alright, let's duplicate these guys. This will be interesting. Let's see what colors we get now. Auto groups, and then mirror and weld. It's like palm hands. It's my first day. Look how long these fingers are. Holy cow. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta check these, see what's happening. Really? Okay. They're way short. I thought they were crazy long, but I guess they're short. So what's your favorite material in sculpting a ZBrush? That would be Skin Shade 4 usually, but I also like to sculpt with the ZBrush shaders, like ZBrush Clay, ZBrush Modeling, and ZBrush Gray. So ZBrush Modeling Clay is this one, but I usually turn off everything. That's this one, and then ZBrush Gray is the other one, this one. But I usually don't use those in the blockout phase because I want to have the colors, and obviously when I hit Shift F to turn on wireframe, it just doesn't look as good and I can't see it as well, so I use Skin Shade 4. And then I turn off wireframe. There's this little word that says line in the wireframe, and I just turn that off. That's where the colors come from. Let's see. Just get these lined up a bit. I don't know how this hand's going to turn out. It could be total crap, but we'll see. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So, in the scheme of things, it looks like they are the bones inside your hand are way bigger than your finger bones. I guess they're still considered finger bones because they're part of your hand. Yay! No, don't leave. Don't leave. Thank you for dropping by. I'll try. You said, are you streaming tomorrow or Thursday? Tell me again, please. At 8 o'clock Eastern time. Let's see. She's funny. Come on. Hold on one sec. I gotta turn this fan towards me 1 second. Man, my office gets hot. Super hot. Okay, let's I'm gonna use a snake hook brush and fix these fingers. They're too crazy. Make these short. Smooth them out a bit. Whoop, too much. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. The silent judging. She's in here just going, oh, what are those? What is this? Why do they invite this guy? Who let him in? Oh, so the duplicate doesn't work unless your entire mesh is showing, by the way. Whoa, now I'm duplicating everything. So invert that. Let's see. You have a concern with working with polygroups. After you get them all set where you want them, do you remesh? Do you remesh them? Yeah, glad you could make it too, X-Fighter. Okay, so let me try to understand your question. After you get them all set where you want them, so ZRemesh will redo your polygroups, but it'll still keep them in the same polygroup that they were in before, if that makes sense. You can keep polygroups, but it's it'll well, I'll show you. It's going to remake them. It'll recolor everything. So let me turn on lines so you can see what it's going to do. See how these are all colorful, like a rainbow? It's going to actually like set these into a different color gradation based on its own algorithm. So I'll just hit ZRemesher, and here it goes. Boink. See, now it put them into like blues and greens, every one of them. Even though, no, it won't make it into its own, into one mesh. That's Dynamesh. Dynamesh will actually meld them together. ZRemesher just rebuilds the mesh in low polygons. So see that? See how it's like, it's nice colors, but you just have to be careful because it will also shrink or relax the mesh as you ZRemesh. So I try not to ZRemesh too much. I'll only do it when I have to, when my polygons are stretching really bad. So because of the tendency to relax the mesh too much. And you can go back in and inflate those areas that actually got reduced. So it's not too bad. Yeah, Dynamesh is the one that duplicates. Or sorry, Dynamesh is the one that melds everything together. And ZRemesh is the rebuilding of your mesh. I guess Dynamesh, it kind of rebuilds your mesh as well, but in a different way. Here, let me save this and I'll show you what Dynamesh does really quick. Save as Skelly. Okay, so I'll just Dynamesh this guy and you'll see what happens. And I'm going to apply my dynamic subdivision levels, hit Dynamesh Master, and I'll just hit Dynamesh. See that? This is what Dynamesh does. It still keeps my polygroups, but it makes it all one mesh. See that? So it's all one kind of nasty mesh. And that's not what I want right now. I don't want to combine everything right now. So I will combine everything, but I'll do that later. Okay, I'm going to go back in time to before I turned off dynamic subdivision levels. So I hope that helps you. It explains a little better. These are like Jack Skellington hands now. Okay. This is really confusing building hands this way, I'm not going to lie. It's crazy to see these internal finger bones. It's kind of weirding me out. Okay, cool. Happy to help. Okay, so I'm just gonna pose these fingers out just a little bit so I can kind of get an idea of what's going on. Sorry it's taking me so long. Just working through it. I forgot to put this one in its own polygroup. It's alright. Sometimes stuff just takes a while. This new gizmo is so good. So good. And I highly recommend trying this snake hook brush when it comes to things like this. Yeah, that's for sure, T-Chan. For sure. I'm going to try, now that I have my fingers, I'm going to try and imagine them kind of look past this a bit. And see how this should look. Okay, that's better. You know, that's another tip for you guys. Sometimes when you're making hands, it's good to take the tips of your fingers and move them out into space and kind of visualize. You know, all you need to have is like where your arm ends, and then just put the fingertips in there, and then kind of spread them out to get an idea, a feeling of where the fingers should be, and then fill in the rest, and it'll help a lot, rather than like do what I'm doing and build up from the wrist out. Sometimes it's a lot easier to build from the tips inward. So you might want to give that a shot next time you're building some hands. Rabbit Monkey, what's going on, man? Yeah, you'll have to catch this on YouTube. Yeah, it's kind of a slower build tonight because I'm making this Stylized Anatomy model. It's a lot of fun, but it's taken a while, so. Okay, let's make this tip. Yellow, we get yellow this time. Did I get fancy new artwork? No, I didn't, because I talked to the guy who did this, Sycra, and we decided that what he already had made was perfect. So rather than him spending a whole bunch of time trying to make something new, we decided that just to stick with what he had, which is awesome. I would hate for him to do a bunch of work. I think he was just excited about it, you know, like I was. It's always fun to start something new, get all amped on it. Yeah, that's why I chose it, right? It's like it was already good. Yes, Cypherized. I usually do that, but I don't know why I'm doing it this way this time. Just trying it out. Okay. Is this going to be rigged? I don't think so. Yeah, it's the one. This is stylized, so the one I just built has. I'll have to monk with this. I'll have to really massage it into place because it's looking super jack skeleton right now. I'll have to get it into place. Should be like back here. Yeah, because I need to pull this hand out, and because it's really straight and rigid. So let's see. So I'll show you what it'll eventually look like. So it's going to look like this when I'm done, hopefully. It's just I'm making a kind of a stylized maquette that I want to print out so you can set it on your desk or whatever for reference. And it's just going to be for stylized reference. It's not necessarily a perfect an anatomical model, you know? Oh yeah, thanks. Thanks, me. But these fingers only have 2 bones rather than 3. The way I'm building it anyway. It's kind of the way we stylized the Infinity characters was they only had 2 finger lengths instead of 3. And some of them only had 3 fingers instead of 4. It kind of depends on what you're going for. My thumbs always look weird. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's probably if you guys know like super realistic anatomy, this is probably going to make you cringe. Let's see. Anyway, I just wanted to I wanted to build out this stylized skeleton just so I can get it inside here, because I kind of want the bony landmarks to stick out in places where they do. All right, what time we got? Oh, where did my toes go? Gosh dang it. Looks like I deleted my toes. I'm going to save this as something else. Go back. Come back, toes. There you are. I'll merge them together. Toes got toed. Look at that. Single toe, banana toe. Right. I'm going to load that other tool back in. Skelly 3 toes. Skelly 3 toes. And append. Whoops, not a remesh. Let's merge these down. There you go. There's some interesting colors. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Dry. So I'm just doing this as an exercise, my own personal exercise. I just kind of want to just do it this way. You know, I usually typically don't block out characters this way. This is just an exercise. I typically block them out like whole muscle masses. Have a dry one. So, for example, let's see. So the pirate girl that I did, I blocked out. She looked like this. So I did not make the skeleton for her. This is just for a stylized thing that I'm doing right now for the stream. So, and then eventually, let's see. And then I did a Jessica Rabbit. Where is she? This one. So she eventually turned out to look like this. It's going to take a while to bring in. So this is the pirate girl that I finished. So this is her all posed. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this is from two streams ago, not 2 streams ago, 2 characters ago. And then I was working on a Jessica Rabbit before that. Jessica 2. This is her block out. So this is what I usually do, is block out like this. And then it'll eventually become a character. That's just kind of how I do it. But this one, for this stream, I'm just doing a Stylized Anatomy block out just for my own personal use and that of my students, and for you guys to follow along. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks everybody for checking it out again and spending your time, your Tuesday evening with me. Pinch that. Right. So, yeah, I'm just continuing on with this guy, and we'll just start blocking out and putting the muscle masses on him next Tuesday. And so, yeah, like I said, this is just, I just wanted to build out this stylized skeleton. I'll probably tweak on it some more before the stream next week. So, yeah, thanks everybody for stopping by and hanging out. And have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks everybody. Thank you Pixelogic for letting me stream on your Twitch channel again. And once again, I'm having a workshop at the Pixelogic ZBrush Summit, and and if you are interested in this user interface and these brushes, you can always get them at 3dcharacterworkshop.com. So thanks again everybody, and I'll see you next week. Take care.